Hey everyone, David here with another Arcadian Rift devlog, a sci-fi shooter I've been developing in Unreal Engine. This month might be another shorter devlog, as most of the whole month was taken up from my move from Texas to Washington and getting everything set up, furnished, constructed, etc. And as soon as I got to work, we got hit by this all-time record heat wave that took me out of commission for another few days. Despite only having maybe 5 days this month to really work on the game, stuff still got done that I think you'll enjoy seeing and hearing. If you're interested in creating games and need a good place to start, you should check out Core, which is this video's sponsor. Core is a free game creation platform that lets you build, publish, and play 3D multiplayer games. You can build from scratch or modify and reimagine content from other creators, all without any coding necessary, but with the option to write your own game logic in Lua. Core also provides thousands of free music, sound, and art assets. You can even earn money with Core and monetize your games with the new Perks program, which shares 50% of the revenue with Core creators. This is double the Roblox revenue share and 10 times more than Fortnite Creative. Core is currently hosting a Core Invitational Game Jam with over $140,000 in prizes, including a Tesla Model 3, yes, an actual Tesla, not like a digital model or toy car or something. Core is partnered with Epic Games, and you can download the game with your Epic Games account to receive a giant pile of sweet cosmetics. So download Core now completely free using the link in the description below, and start playing and creating today. So, Arcadian Rift. What happened this month? Story mission number 2. That's what happened. If you remember recently, I did all the work on the first story mission. It came to a pretty near complete state, so I began the process again and pretty much finished the entire layout for base number 2, which is actually pretty good news because it didn't take all that long, meaning it shouldn't be that much longer before I finish laying out and creating the remaining story missions. However, currently I'll keep working on story mission 2 and make sure it's playable and fun in the blockout state. I've designed the game so each story mission tests a different mechanic for the player through the environment, new enemies, and finally the boss. Story mission 2 is all about the player's movement and positioning, making sure they're good at moving, jumping, dodging, strafing, and just generally avoiding damage. I decided to make very dynamic levels with lots of, the movement in the level itself, which would accomplish this kind of testing process and also just look awesome. The first of the new moving things is what I called a bus block, as it's just like this big, thick bus flying along. These blocks just go in a straight line. They can be used for Frogger-esque puzzles, or as a dodging minigame, or something to ride like an elevator up and down. I also finally got around to adding a pre-run feature, so when you first spawn in, there are already a lot of blocks moving along, since normally you'd have to wait for them to kind of all spawn after you load in. You may have actually noticed this in the salvage freighter. When you first enter, there isn't much scrap as it's slowly spawning, but now I can go in and add this pre-run to that as well. Next is what I call the piston block. It just moves forward and backwards, but I added a lot of code for intervals, delays, randomness, etc., and it kind of indicates to you when it's about to move. I was able to use this in many places, such as having large moving pillars create and remove cover, causing the player to react and relocate or reposition themselves. There are also places where I'm experimenting around with the environment fully changing around, creating a kind of rather interesting combat space. Also, a lot more art got done this month. Frizzle concepted and finished the docking area, where the player will actually connect the ship to the space station and then head to the actual interior courtyard area. He also made these beautiful lighting renders just for fun. On the enemy side, Kurt was able to get the second AI boss done. This one is designed to be slower and more armored. Rather than moving a lot, it has attacks that force the player to move and circle around, fitting with the mission design like I mentioned earlier. And finally, After Infinity has been doing some early exploration and concepting with music for Arcadian Rift, specifically focusing on themes and ideas for aboard the spaceship. None of these are 100% final or guaranteed to be in the game as is, but hopefully you'll enjoy just hearing some of the early work. beyond Arcadian Rift, while I had a bit of time during my apartment setup but wasn't able to work on the game, I did make a ton of headway on some of my first game design talk videos I mentioned wanting to do a while back. One script is now fully complete, and the second is just about complete, and I've created 2 thumbnails and been making a big list of potential topics, so that'll start happening eventually. I also was unable to stream my first Subnautica livestream due to some of my Amazon orders arriving a little late and then followed by the heat wave, but those should now be happening very shortly. And that's it for this month. Big thanks to all my patrons who are supporting my work and trying out the game in this early state. Apologies that I haven't really updated it this month updated much in these last 2 months. I'm hoping to get the Discord a bit more organized soon and potentially even made public, as well as a Steam page set up for the Arcadian Rift game itself, but more on that later. And remember, check out Core with the free download link in the description below, or by visiting coregames.com, and have fun playing or creating sweet new games. And also join the contest and win a Tesla, then mail it to me. Okay, thanks, bye.